Sri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedasi Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 118 of Ayodhya Kanda. In the previous chapter, we saw Sri Rama along with Sita and Lakshmana. After having left Chitrakuta hills, he came to the hermitage of Sri and Anasuya and he met with those aged couples. In the meantime, Anasuya, who took Sita inside, told her a little more few words regarding her faithfulness or her chastity towards her husband Rama. The blameless Anasuya, having spoken, Sri Sita, approving her words, gently answered, O noble lady, the advice you have given me is in no wise a source of wonder to me, for it is my conviction that the husband is in authority over his wife. Even if the husband be poor, ignorant, yet women such as I should feel no aversion for him. But the husband who is worthy of praise on account of his excellent qualities and who is compassionate, self controlled, constant in his affections, fully acquainted with his duty, and who manifests the loving kindness of a parent excels all expectation. Whatever love Sri Ramachandra bears on his mother Kausalya, he bestows equally on the other queens, and not this alone, but whoever the king has looked on with affection, that woman is also regarded as his own mother. When departing for the fearful forest, my mother in law, Queen Kausalya, imparted certain instruction to me, and I inscribed her words in the tablet of my heart. I call to mind also the advice given to me by my own mother at the time of my nuptials. O righteous one, the crowning discipline of a woman is the service of her Lord. Today you have awakened in my memory the counsels formerly given to me by my relatives. Today Savitri dwells in heaven through the service of her spouse. You also shall enter the extreme abode through service of your Lord. Rohini, a pearl among women and a dweller in the celestial region, ever accompanies the moon. Thus, many others who have followed virtue with fixed resolve enter heaven through their merits. Anasuya rejoiced to hear Sita's words and kissing her head in benediction said, O Sita, much merit has accrued to me by prayer and fasting. O princess, pure in heart, I desire to confer a boon on you by virtue of these merits. Tell me what you want, what you do desire, O Princess of Mithila. Your words have given me extreme satisfaction. Now say what good I may accomplish in your name. Sri Sita, hearing the words of the pious Anasuya, versed in domestic duty and being filled with astonishment, answered smilingly, Your loving kindness has already fulfilled my every desire. Sri Anasuya, hearing these words, was gratified in greater measure and said, O Sita, fortunate am I to behold you. Let my joy bear fruit. Ask a boon. I can give you celestial garlands, apparel, and precious unguents to adorn your person. O daughter of Janaka, my gifts would enhance your beauty. They will never fade and they will become you well. Apply this powder which I now give to you. You shall by this augment your husband's beauty as Lakshmi increases the glory of the imperishable Vishnu. The princess accepted the robes, powder, and ornaments, gifts of love from the ascetic. The illustrious Sita, having received the symbols of affection from Anasuya, sat down near her with joined palms. Then Anasuya requested Sri Sita to relate something of moment, saying, O Sita, I have heard a brief account of your wedding. Describe it to me now in detail. Sri Sita obediently answered, Hear me, and I will relate it all to you. The king of Mithila, that brave and virtuous monarch Janaka, the protector of his people as befits a warrior, once, when plowing the earth to establish sacrificial ground, beheld me like a daughter emerging from the furrow. At that time, the king, repeating the holy text, was scattering the seeds of herbs, and seeing my body besmeared with dust, was astonished. Being without issue, he took me in his arms and said, This shall be my daughter, and treated me with extreme love. Then a voice rang out from the heavens, saying, O king, verily she is your daughter. The king rejoiced in my possession, and since my birth his prosperity has increased. That sovereign, constant in the performance of sacrifice, gave me into the care of his chief queen, she nourishing me with maternal affection. When I came to maturity, my father grew anxious like an indigent man who is bereft of all he possesses. The father of a daughter, be he equal to Indra, must defer to his son in law, whether in status he be his peer or his inferior. My father was willing to submit to this eventuality and was consumed with anxiety as one desirous of crossing a river, he who finds himself without the means of transport, which after much seeking he was unable to find a suitable bridegroom and was beset with fears. On profound reflection, he resolved to convene a meeting of princes that I might elect a husband. In ancient days, on the occasion of a sacrifice, one of our royal forebears received from Varuna a great bow with two quivers that should never lack arrows. The bow was so heavy that many persons together could not move it, and no monarch could draw it even in dream. By his merit, my honored father had acquired the bow, and he, summoning the kings in council, addressed them, saying, O sovereigns of men, I will give my daughter in marriage to him who is able to lift up and string this bow. The kings, beholding the bow resembling a mountain in weight, unable to lift it up, made obeisance to it and went their way. After a long time, the resplendent Ramachandra came to my father's sacrifice in company with the sage Vishwamitra. The king, my father, offered the truth loving hero together with the sage Vishwamitra abundant hospitality. Then Vishwamitra said to the king, These are the two sons of King Dasharatha who desire to see the bow. Be gracious enough to allow these two princes to view it. King Janaka commanded the bow to be brought as requested by the sage Vishwamitra. In an instant, Sri Ramachandra, lifting the bow, drew it. Having been bent by the thong, the bow broke in two, creating a sound like the crash of thunder. Thereafter, my honored father caused water to be brought and offered to Sri Ramachandra and prepared to bestow me on him. But Sri Ramachandra did not consent to accept my hand till the intentions of his own father were known. King Janaka then requested the aged King Dasharatha to come there, and he, acquiescing in the matter, did so. With his approval, I was pledged to great souled Ramachandra, my younger sister, a guileless girl, Urmila, being wedded to Sri Lakshmana. O great ascetic, thus was I bestowed in marriage, and since then have taken extreme delight in ministering to my Lord Sri Ramachandra as is my duty. Thus ended chapter 118 of Ayodhya Kanda in Ramayana. Regarding few points in this particular chapter, there were certain ill directed comments saying that after Ramachandra had won over Sita while lifting the bow, though Janaka was ready to offer Sita in hand to the marriage to Ramachandra, Ramachandra refused for a while till he gets a consent from Dasharatha. And people cite this as a reason that Ramachandra had absolutely no love for Sita at all. And that was the reason finally, at the end of Ramayana, that he had given up Sita. And also after he slayed Ravana, he expected Sita to enter into the fire because he had absolutely no love for Sita. It was completely a rubbish thing. Basically, if you look at what was the situation there and simply apply a little bit of common sense, anybody can understand. Rama was given permission to go along with Vishwamitra into the forest with the intention to kill the demons. He finished that work. And on the way, it is the responsibility of Vishwamitra when he has taken the princess into the forest, not only to get his work done, he also taught them about the various skills, various weapons, various other things which would be beneficial to a Kshatriya. But that doesn't give permission to Vishwamitra to get Rama married because the marriage of a son is always the responsibility. That decision is always the responsibility or the decision of the father. That is the reason why throughout you will never going to see Vishwamitra saying that he would like to get Rama married to Sita. Never he says. He only says that he wanted Rama to see the bow because he himself is a Kshatriya. Rama is a Kshatriya, and no Kshatriya so far was able to even shake that bow. And he wanted to prove to the whole world the capability of Rama that he can do anything with that bow. And the next aspect of Sita getting married to Sita was of no importance to Vishwamitra because that is the dominion where Dasharatha is supposed to permit. And for the same reason, Rama says that he need to get permission of his father, who is also king of Ayodhya, who had so far permitted him only to go into the forest with Vishwamitra with the intention to kill those demons. The second aspect is if you observe how the marriage ceremony was being done, it is not done because Rama lifted the bow and he won over the Sita. That means to say, Janaka never promised saying that whoever will going to lift the bow, whatever be his credentials, whatever be his reputation, simply Sita, he can take over Sita and he can run away with Sita. Never it is told. Women are never looked down so badly in India. Rama himself, a person having a great respect towards the woman, deliberately told Janaka, "Let Dasharatha shall come here, and let his father come here." And if you observe how the ceremony was done, it was first Vasista Kulapurohita, the sage who guides, who is the spiritual preceptor for the entire house of Ikshvaku. He, on behalf of Dasharatha, he explained the entire lineage of Rama convincingly to Janaka, telling about the credentials and greatness of Rama and his family. And then he requested Janaka to confer his two daughters, Sita and Urmila, to Rama and Lakshmana. So, formally, in a formal way, from the Dasharatha side, Vasistha made a request to Janaka. Then Janaka explained his own lineage and then finally accepted to give Sita and Urmila to Rama and Lakshmana. And when a marriage happens in one such traditional way, the woman who enter into that house as a daughter-in-law will have all naturally the highest respect, not someone who is just one because of lifting a bow. she wouldn't be having such a great respect. She was given in marriage to the house of Ikshvaku because the house of Ikshvaku made a request to King Janaka to give his two daughters in marriage to them. It is always the groom's family which is supposed to make a request because they are the ones who are receiving their daughter-in-laws. They should be making a request formally, and then then the father of those daughter-in-laws, those women, are supposed to give their hands in marriage. Rama was basically trying to earn such a great honor to Sita, and that is the intention why he is doing like that. And then, if you keep your common sense and leaving all these other things like the spirit, like the tradition and the parampara, all this kind of a thing, if you simply apply your common sense, let us assume that a boy and a girl, they were interested, they saw somewhere and they got interested and have love for each other. What do they do next? Will they will they run away and get married? If you observe in India, any boy and a girl who ended up in a love, first think about whether they can get the permission of their parents, whether they can bring their parents together, and with the permission of their parents, whether they can get married formally, because that will bring them a great honor in the society. And because of that reason, everyone tried to bring in their parents. And whenever they narrate the story to the others, if others are their peers or someone who is younger to them, for them they told the wonderful story of their love and love affair. But when they're talking to the elders, if they're talking to the elders, here Sita is a young woman who is talking to as Anasuya, who may be more than 100 years at that time. When they're talking to the elders, they never talk about their love affair. They always talk about that they have been formally wedded with the permission of their parents, because that is what will bring delight to the old people. And that is where Sita knows what to talk with whom. Since she is talking to Anasuya, he says that he is not just one because Rama lifted the bow, and because of that reason she married Rama. She is supposed to marry Rama. No, it is because Rama's family came to Mithila, requested for the hand of Sita, and then Janaka, having accepted, gave her in marriage to him. That is the common sense. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.